prepping world, you come across a lot of flashy gear. In the prepping world, often enough, people focus a lot on the gear and put skills as something second. However, with money being so tight nowadays, and that applies to all of us, we have to understand that we need to become masters of the gears that we have. However, if you are starting right now and you have very little money, I'm here to tell you that for all of us, at the very beginning, no matter what, we all started with cheap gear and with things that we probably nowadays don't use anymore. However, they did serve a purpose, at least a purpose of polishing our skills. I want to talk to you about that specific thing, skills. Many believe that skills are secondary and gear are primary. I believe the other way around. I believe the skills should be number one and gear is number two. When it comes to skills, you need to practice as much as possible. So when you start prepping, most likely you don't want to dedicate a lot of money because you're either not 100% on board or you just don't have the money. So let's say that you don't have the money and you have a very limited amount of money. Well, if that is your case, I will say this to you. There are areas that you have to, or you should be focusing on, and that is going out as much as possible. Going out and practice as much as possible. Be as minimalist as you can. This is something that a lot of people refuse to admit it. But every time that you see a bug out bag, a get home bag, a bag of any source, you see redundancy over redundancy over redundancy. But what people don't understand is that redundancy over redundancy, although it's good, it adds weight to the bag. And every day that passes, we're getting older. You see what I'm going with this? So, minimalist. Keep that in mind. Simplify things. Don't go overboard. So, what is that you need? If you're going out to hunt and you have very little money that you cannot afford a Ruger 1022, you cannot afford a brand new firearm, I would say this to you. Go to the pawn shop. Go to the pawn shop and look for break shotguns, meaning that single shot shotguns. They usually are really, really cheap. They're really cheap. And as long as you maintain them, oil them and keep them clean, they will last you a long time. I have seen 20 gauge for as little as $70. That's not bad at all. Single shot. That's it. If you can get yourself a 22 single shot, by all means. But you see what I'm saying? I think the shotgun will be your best bet, to tell you the truth. Especially since you want something simple as possible. Let's say a shotgun, in 20 gauge, because 20 gauge does not kick as much, and it's a little cheaper than a 12 gauge sometimes. That 20 gauge will allow you to hunt birds, small games, and if you put slugs, will allow you to hunt larger animals, boars, deers, and so on. Now, you're gonna have to get close skills to take that shot, because that smooth barrel does not provide really great accuracy. But I will say this: when you compare a shotgun and a 22, and I'm a fan of 22, you have bigger chances of bagging a small animal with a shotgun, because it just spreads a lot more than when a 22, because if you miss a little bit, then it goes somewhere else. You will save a bit money in the firearm. The ammunition will be slightly more expensive, but you have a lot of options. A lot of options out there. Plus, you don't need to have slugs for everything. The fun thing about having a single shot is that you can remove and put the other one in fairly quick. And now you have one. Just one. It didn't cost you that much. Once you become proficient and become into money, then perhaps you can upgrade. Same thing with a cutting tool, a knife. There's nothing wrong with an old timer. Absolutely nothing wrong with a knife that is passed down to you. Nothing wrong. As long as the tool is sharp, use it. You'll be fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having in your bag ramen noodles, a can of Spam, and perhaps, like I have in here, a couple of Snickers. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. You don't need to get a long spoon like I show here. You don't need to. Those things are like $12. Get one from your kitchen and you'll be fine. Containers from Walmart, they work perfectly fine. Does the Pathfinder gives you more option because it's stainless steel, it's a little taller? Yeah, absolutely. But we are in a budget. We are in a budget. Bam. Go with that. When it comes to stove, these little ones right here, you can get them in Amazon. They worked. I use them in the field. They worked. If they break, well, they're not that hard to replace. So you see what I'm saying? But you're practicing your skills. And of course, those are things that I just want to mention because a lot of people, you know, they just, I don't want to prep because it's a lot of money. Prepping is something that you can spend as much money as you want and as little money as you're allowed to. That's just the way it goes. It's like anything. Do you want to spend $1,000? Well, there are things up there that you can spend $1,000. You can spend $1,000 in training. You can spend $1,000 on doing a lot of things. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. But you can still be prepared. You can definitely still be prepared. It doesn't cost you anything to learn how to make traps at all. Snare can be used over and over and over and over, and it will provide you food. Having a container, having the knowledge to purify water in the field, doing a teepee, and putting grass, and putting charcoal, and putting sand, so you can purify that water. That knowledge will never be taken away from you. It's easier to get a light straw or anything else up there and use it, yes. But when we are short on money, we have to make do. We definitely have to make do with whatever we have. So I want you all to understand one simple concept. When you go to prepper channels, yes, you do see the flashy stuff. When you come here, I show you what I'm using currently. But what you're not seeing is the transition that I have from when I started, when I came from Cuba to now. So there has been a lot of growth over the years. You're just only seeing the final product. But if you're starting right now, skills is your number one priority. Go out as much as you can, train and practice as much as you can, take whatever you can afford. I guarantee you that a lot of people will donate things to you if they know that you like doing the outdoor stuff. Go to secondhand stores. Go to military stores. You can find really good stuff at military stores. Goodwill. I remember finding really good cast iron pots in Goodwill that I used to take camping with me. Yes, they weigh a lot. But so what? So what? They work. You don't have the luxury to say, I don't want this because it weighs too much. No. No. When you don't have the means to get better gear, you get whatever you can get your hands on. Plain and simple. Let people talk whatever they're going to talk. People are going to talk no matter what. You are the only one who needs to care whether or not you're doing the right thing. So, prioritize skills. Money is tight. Money will be getting tighter in the future. So, for those of us who are further along in our prepper journey, I guarantee you that we are cutting back on a lot of things. So if you're starting right now, ignore what everybody else is telling you up there. Oh, you shouldn't get this. You should get this. That is 1,000 times more expensive. This is what you can get. And that's it. If an old timer knife is all you can have, an old timer is all you need. That's it. Just because I come here and I show you a Buck Elite does not mean that mine is better than yours. This is what I have now. But I guarantee you that once upon a time, I was using the old timer because I have it here. You see what I'm saying? Not a lot of people will tell you that. But I am telling you that. You can do it. Don't let nobody put you down. You can start preparing today. It will not cost you that as much as you think. Ignore when people tell you, oh, you're just having cheap stuff. You're learning. You are learning. And once you master your skills, all of those people who laugh at you, they're going to be envy of you. With that being said, I hope you have a great one. Like I was, rock on, prep on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.